In the Hindu community, women are not allowed into certain temples. The Shani Shignapur, it took women 70 years to get into it. They got into Shani Shignapur only in 2016. And Sabrimala, the fight is still on. Women in the age group of 10 to 50 cannot go to Sabrimala temple.
I've already explained this in media in many different ways, but now that you're once again asking the question, and once again it's an issue, let us understand this. This is a culture where there are more goddess temples than god temples. There are more female deities worshipped in this culture than male deities. In south we call them Amman, Mariamman, this, in north there are various kinds of devis. So, the restriction in the temple is for a completely different reason. I spoke about Shani Shignapur and I know the whole activist groups went against me because they're just waiting for an opportunity always. See, these are occult temples. You know what's occult? When you do occult practices, women in different states, particularly in states of pregnancy or menstrual states, it's not good for them, they're very vulnerable at that time. It can hugely impact their health and well-being. So they said you should not enter occult temples. Only on certain days when there are no such practices you enter, otherwise when practices are going on you do not enter because it's not good. Now talking about Shabarimala and other hill temples, these were mainly said because this is tiger country. Today maybe the poor tiger needs to be saved by you and me, that's a different matter. Otherwise, in southern India, in western Ghats, tigers roamed in thousands, okay? So climbing these hill temples was always a risk, and people have, even today they have these practices that they will carry some samrani, it's a kind of a thing that smokes. They always carry this when they go up because tigers will attack you otherwise. If they smell biology, they will go for you. If you take a woman with you, always a woman is more easily smelled down by a carnivorous animal than a man. So they said never take the woman. If you take the woman, for sure tigers will get you. So all hill temples, not only Shabarimala, all hill temples they put this restriction. But now the poor tiger is gone, it needs protection.
So now shouldn't
and the women
the practice change?
Now the women are better equipped, you know, in terms of modern amenities they're better equipped, they're not what they were at that time. If it's only for that reason, definitely it must change, there's no question. At the same time, Shabarimala temple, I do not know the full detail, but from what I have heard from the temple authorities, they are saying that is because the deity is a brahmachari. If there is such a sensitivity, I think you should leave it.
You just said that this is 21st century India,
yes.
And books that were written thousands of years ago
No, that's what I'm saying.
Now need to change.
No.
Practices that were gotten into thousands of years ago now need to change. So why do you stop one step short?
No, I'm not stopping one step short. Let me make this clear. If it is for safety, which was done for wildlife and stuff, it's not relevant anymore. Okay, women are equipped to walk up any mountain.
Yes.
Just now I've come from 3 weeks of Himalayan treks. More women with me than men actually, in numbers. So they are as equipped and they're walking with me wherever I go, there is no point. Because their clothes, their boots, their stuff, they're as equipped as a man today. But those days things were different, so they said this is not a temple to go for women. But if they're being discriminated simply because of their biological nature, it must go, there's no question. But if it is because of the nature of the temple, we must look at it.
But Sadhguruji, with all due respect, if the god is a brahmachari, so to speak,
See, this god idea is not our idea. This is a Western idea. We don't have a god.
The holy
deity.
The holy deity that
Yes.
is there is a brahmachari. It's a we worship that brahmachari because he's all powerful.
No, that's not the point.
Is he going to get swayed
right
because
now,
a woman enters the temple?
No, right now in our ashram we have brahmacharis and mas, okay? There are lady monks and men monks. If the women demand, we want to go into the men's segment of the brahmachari segment, it's called the sangha, we want to go into the male sangha. No, because even we cannot enter into the female sangha. What is that? There are temples in Karnataka where men cannot enter. So these things were made for a different reason, this is not gender discrimination. If there is gender discrimination, it must end, there's no question
But
about it.
this is gender discrimination. How else
See,
would
I
you
will not
describe
go
it?
into the ladies' toilet. Is it gender discrimination? It's just sense, simple sense.
So you would only compare women not going to Sabrimala, compare it with men not going to a ladies' toilet.
I'm not… let's not make temple and toilet one thing, that's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is, there are certain sensibilities and there is discrimination. These are two different things. Sensibilities have to be respected, you can't level everything. But if it is discriminated just because of biology of a woman, that must go 100%.
But isn't it just that?
No.
Why women between 10 and 50 cannot go?
See, for
women above 50 are not discriminated against.
No.
So it's biology.
See, a deity is seen as a live person, you understand? A brahmachari is sitting in his own abode, so women don't go into his abode. If a young woman was sitting, we say men should not enter that room. Just the same thing. So the monks are there in the Sangha, women cannot go. Is it gender discrimination? For his safety, not for theirs.
So, that's very well put, but you want the Supreme Court, which has to look at everything, as you said, by the one book that governs this country, which
Yes.
is the Constitution.
Yes. Constitution never said you should not take the sensitivities of various people in this country. You have to respect the sensitivities of everybody. But if it's outright discrimination which is leading to an exploitative state, it must go. I am repeating this once again, if any temple is stopping women from entering their premises based on their biology, it has to go, no question. But if it is because of certain sensitivities, if it is that the deity is of a certain nature and it maintains a certain thing, they want to do that. Suppose, why nobody talks about these temples where men cannot enter? There are temples in Karnataka like this.
All right, Sadhguruji, I will ask you
I'm saying you're doing gender discrimination right now.
Oh,
Please fight for the men also, poor men.
Poor men. Men in this country have never been poor men. It's always the women who have been discriminated against.